Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new possible series here in Dirt Rally 2.0. I'm really excited to bring this to the channel as a bit of a side series from NASCAR Heat 3. So I'm not sure how long this is going to last. If it does well, it'll stick around, but if it doesn't do well, then obviously this series will not be sticking around very long. But I'm planning on doing, obviously, a career mode. We're going to be doing a rally career and a rallycross career. So every other episode, we're going to do a rotation where I do rally this episode, next episode we'll start rallycross, and we're just going to go back and forth every episode so we can kind of keep two things and make it a little more interesting in this career mode. And I'm going to start a little bit ways down the branch because there's quite a few branches in the rally stuff, and I went with the H2, which I'm not really sure what those mean, but it's a rear wheel drive car, and we chose that livery. So we're going to work our way up through the rally system, eventually into the top class stuff. So hopefully this can turn into a bit of a lengthy career if this does well. I didn't want to jump right into the fast stuff because, I mean, I haven't driven a rally game since Dirt 3, and that really wasn't a rally game because it was more of a gymkhana and stunts and whatnot. But either way, I'm really excited to show you guys this game. It seemed pretty awesome from what I've seen. We come right to our first stage in the career mode, and we're ready to go green, and we go right off the bat, and hopefully we can run good here. Like I said, I don't have very much experience with rally racing, so I'm really excited for you guys to be along with me to see how I improve, because I guarantee you this first episode, these first few episodes, I'm going to struggle quite a bit, and I'm probably going to crash a handful of times. Don't be surprised. And I would love if anyone in this video is watching, if you guys actually are maybe familiar with dirt rally or just rally racing in general, if you could leave some tips or something in the comments to maybe help me learn and improve in the future, because like I said, I have absolutely no experience when it comes to rally racing or rally cross racing. Maybe a little bit of rallycross on project cars too, but that's really it now. But we were doing a pretty decent job here. I'm on a Thrustmaster TMX wheel, so it certainly made the experience a lot more fun. And now as we come through just a little bit farther into our first stage, we've been closing in. We've gotten about 2 minutes into our session so far. And at this point, I was doing a much better job than I was expecting from myself. I'm racing with no assist, and the car was actually driving a lot better than I was expecting, with 0 assist on the car. But now, just working our way through these tight corners at times. Obviously, I've learned to listen to my co-driver. That was certainly one of the things I noticed right off the bat. I've made probably about 10 minutes of experience before I came into this career mode, and I really wasn't listening to my co-driver at this point, and I was really struggling, missing corners, just over-sending into a corner, not knowing what's going on. But I learned to really listen to my co-driver, and that certainly will pay off big time, obviously, now. And I've certainly learned a bit of the numbers. You see the signs coming up on the top of the screen. Like a 6 means it's a pretty very light turn. You can probably go full throttle just about through those corners, and then you get like a 1, and that's like you're going to be full braking and a 90-degree turn. So I've certainly learned that the lower the number, the sharper the turn, the higher the number, obviously the less sharp the turn is. So I'm slowly learning what I'm doing in this game, and it's certainly been a fun experience. As in our first stage, we're currently running P1. I heard the career mode, like, and the lower branches are pretty easy now as we come into the hairpin and go a little bit wide, but we manage to get back on track as we continue to lead in my first stage, as we picked up a little bit of damage on the car. So far, you see the hood is starting to flop up a little bit now as we come to about the last quarter of this stage. We're about 6 minutes, just about 6.5 minutes in at this point. I'm just continuing to just kind of maintain concentration and not really screw up, but I've certainly made a few mistakes so far now as we come into the little 90-degree right-hand turn and coming out of there fairly well. Certainly into a little more technical section of this course now as we come into another 90-degree left-hand turn. I used a handbrake there a little bit and just about kind of screwed it up, but fortunately I was able to hang on to it now as we come to the end of our first stage through the last few corners now into a 6 right. Certainly pretty much about a full speed corner now as we come into a 6 left, just trying to manage to get to this finish as fast as possible. And it looks like we're going to come through to get the first position now as we come out of the last corner, and there's the checkered records right there, and we cross the red signs, and we are in P1 at the end of our first stage as we come through to stop by the marshal. So certainly a very solid effort for myself in the first stage, and hopefully we can continue that. We hit an 8:05, so certainly I'm not sure how good that is. Like I said, I don't really know at this point what I'm doing really. So it was good enough to get first. And we had a 4-second penalty. I think I recovered the vehicle or something at one point, or I went off track and did something. But we had minor body damage and a broken headlight, so obviously not the cleanest start to my rally career now as we get ready to start our second stage, still in the nighttime, as we get ready to take the green flag, and we are off and underway. The red lights are out, and into turn 1 we go to 5 right, so not a very complicated corner for myself now, as we have a 4 right up ahead with a little bit of a bump or a jump as they call it, and we come out of there wide and we hit a tree, and immediately we have our first major incident. So certainly not what I was wanting to do, but like I said in this first episode, probably even a few episodes, I'm going to struggle and make mistakes, and that's exactly what I did there now as we come into the hairpin with a little too much speed as well, but fortunately we are able to keep it on the course, and unfortunately that's not what we needed to have happen, and that was a bit of a setback here early on in this stage. And racing in the nighttime in this game was a little intimidating at times, especially when it was really dark and you couldn't see very far ahead of you. I was a little scared at times to go full throttle because I really didn't know what was coming up ahead, so I was really kind of pedaling the car around. But now as we come into the hairpin, trying to get the best hairpin I can, and that was probably the best hairpin I have had in this episode so far, I felt, and I was slowly getting used to the game, but I know we're still going to make a good bunch of mistakes. That's now we come to about the quarter-way point in this second stage, sitting in now the 12th position, as we would continue to struggle a bit throughout the rest of the stage as we came into the last quarter of the second stage. Now just like I said, continuing to struggle a little bit. Certainly could use some more speed as we come coming into the final handful of corners now as we get into the hill a bit there and getting just maybe a little bit of minor damage now as we approach the final part of this course. Now it says we're P1 at the moment. I think that's just the overall leaderboard because we're certainly behind the class leader right now as we come down towards the green signs, which means the checkers are coming up right here as we come into the final few corners. There's the red signs, and we come through across the line to get 7 seconds behind the leader now as we come towards the marshal with a 4-minute flat, just about as a 4 minutes and .025 there. So I'm not sure how that was, but it felt half decent. We certainly struggled though, unfortunately. So we're going to see what we can do in this third stage, and these events are all 4 stages each. So we are now 10th, like we said, in the stage results, and we got some body damage and we broke a headlight. Now we're 2nd overall as we head into the 3rd stage. And at the midway point of these events, you do get to go to a service area where you can repair your car. I did bodywork damage bodywork fixes on the car, and that was all we needed. So we did the repairs on that, and it took about 12 minutes, and we didn't get any penalties for going over the time. And we checked out the tires, and I decided to stick with the medium tires. Maybe someone could tell me something about what tires are best, maybe in the comments section below. But for about the first 30 seconds of the stage, I'm going to go quiet just so you guys can hear the raw sound of this game. It truly does sound amazing, so I'll let you hear it.
Go. 50, 6 left of a crest, into 6 right of a crest, extra long, 30, 4 right, into 6 left of a crest, extra long, tightens 3 of a crest. Into cut, 3 right long, opens 6 of a crest, 30. 6 left of a crest.
This game truly does sound amazing now as we are getting through this third stage somewhat well now as we approach a 4 right or a 6 right, I believe now, as we're coming up on a water splash, which is just a little like kind of divot into some water, and we will go through that just fine now as we come to just over a minute left, or a minute in this stage, coming across the bridge now up into a 3 left up here, getting pretty well through there actually, which kind of surprised me as I felt like I went in there with a little bit too much speed. But fortunately, like I said, we were having a solid third stage, probably at this point one of the best stages I've had at this point. We're certainly running much better than I did in the first and second stage, and obviously it's stage time, so I can kind of get a better chance to kind of see what's coming a little bit earlier than in the nighttime. Obviously, as we get a little bit sideways there, almost losing the car, but fortunately I would hang on to it now as we kind of cut the course just a little bit there by accident, but it shows in the top right we're still, I guess, the overall leader right now. We're actually the class leader as well. We have an 8-second lead over the car behind me, so we're certainly having a solid effort. And by the time we come to about the midway point in the stage, we would end up damaging the car a good amount, and I would actually lose the class lead, and we're actually quite a ways back at this point. I fell down to the 6th position, now 7th actually, just trying to survive, and you see me falling down the order actually pretty quickly now as we come through a little bit of a fast section of the track and then head into the 5 left, and we get up and are airborne just about as the back end of the car lifted off the ground as we're 19 seconds behind at this point in the stage. So I certainly had a good start to the 3rd stage, but unfortunately the midway point hasn't been going as well. But obviously I would just continue to do the best I could now as we come to about the last section of this stage, sitting 6th right now apparently in the top right as we come into little 4 left, heading into a 6 right, and certainly getting used to, at this point I was really getting used to all the call-outs by the co-driver, and that was helping me certainly get better at getting on these corners now as I have a bit of a moment there as we go off course after hitting the hill and going shot to the left of the course and just about hitting a truck actually, but fortunately we held on to it. Now as we're making quite a few mistakes here at the end of this stage, but we're coming in towards the final few corners up into a 5 left up ahead and a 4 left as well as we get ready to hit the final portions of this course. We've crossed the green signs and now we will come through out of the right-hander into the left-hander to cross the line and come in 9 seconds behind the class leader, and we hit an 8-minute flat there as well as we stopped by the marshal, and certainly once again a bit of a rough effort for myself, and you see the car at this point is quite damaged. We're missing the right front headlight, so certainly not great, but quite a bit of damage on this car after that 3rd stage as we get 7th in the stage. And the stage notes, we had body damage, wheel wobbling, and high engine temperature. Now as we sit 3rd in the overall standings as we go in to the final stage of this race with this pretty much mangled car, and it's certainly not in good shape to say the least, as we are just going to try and survive through the stage, obviously try not to screw up and total the car and get terminal damage as we get ready to go green, and the red lights are out and the final stage is underway. This time this is a new challenge for myself in this final stage because I had not dealt with a wet track yet. You see the track certainly a bit wet now, so not really sure what I could have expected going into this. I knew I was going to maybe have to be a little more cautious, but cautious wasn't very much of a thing for me in this stage. Now as we get through the hairpin fairly decently, so I was a little confident, building my confidence the more I was getting through these corners much better. Now through the little forestry part of this course, certainly much darker here. And we have a 4 left now coming up, and we will also be coming up on, I believe, a 1 left as well there, and that's going to be a don't cut. I'm not sure what it means, like why some corners don't have the don't cut thing. I'm not sure like what the purpose is of that, but we go a little wide, kind of sliding right through the corner. I'm not sure if that was an effect of the wet track, but then I get into the divot there and it kind of sucks me over back into the grass, but we fortunately are able to get back on course as we come up to a 6 right and a 4 left as we're going to hit a jump here, and we manage to hang onto the car with no problems as we come in to the left-hander into a 4 right, and then we have a 1 right coming up as well. And throughout the rest of the stage, I really struggled. This probably ended up being my worst stage yet, as we ended up losing the hood, damaging the car quite a bit now as we come through the little splash there, as we come up on a bridge with a 6 left as well, closing in on the final portions of this stage. As a class leader, he is almost at the line. That was not a bridge back there, that was actually narrow. It meant it was narrowing, I guess. But now on a 6th left up ahead, the class leader has crossed the line already, and I'm over here probably a good 25 seconds behind as we get into the side of the hill there, but fortunately we're able to hang on to the cars, come through the right-hander, just trying to hang on for dear life as we have a bit of a moment, but we hang on to the car. And we'll be going through a 6 right and approaching a 5 left to end this course now as we pass the green signs, so we know we're close. I don't know what the green signs exactly mean, but we come through down the final chute towards the finish, and we cross the line and get a 5:14, 30 seconds behind the leader, so a terrible effort in the final stage, but unfortunately we're going to get 22nd in the stage,
How
so
did the
not
car
great
feel
for
in that
myself. You
stage?
see the car
Do you want to make any
is
setup
destroyed.
changes
That's our
at the
final
next
car
service?
for this first event here in our career mode series. And I do have the deluxe edition of this game, so we will be getting all the DLC courses, and I hope they add them to career mode. I would assume they would. But we finished the event 5th overall, so my first time I wasn't too disappointed with that, but certainly a ton of room for improvement from myself, clearly, as I really felt like if we would have just stayed out of trouble, maybe we could have won, as we got 18 points in the season opener, so certainly a solid effort here in the USA now as we get a good chunk of money, as well as we did some research apparently, and it was completed for engine tuning number 2, and the next course will be, I believe, this place right here, Beaver Creek, or was that the 6th race? I can't remember. I just clicked on. But either way, next episode we will actually be going, or actually the next race is Camino, or whatever the heck this is called. But either way, in the next episode we will be starting our rallycross career. So hopefully we do much better in that, as well as I'm looking forward to bringing that to the channel as well. And then third episode we will be back in rally. And obviously we're getting a decent amount of money. We might be able to purchase an actual car instead of kind of just getting the default car that they start you with in this class. So hopefully we can purchase something soon, or maybe make improvements and train our co-driver or something. We have over 100,000 CR. We'll just call it dollars. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. If you want to see the series continue, make sure to let me know. And you can do that by hitting the like button and commenting to let me know you like what you see. And I will see you guys in the next episode for the start of our rallycross career. Thank you for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have yourselves a great day. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys in the next episode for the start of our rallycross career.